Yes, good morning, folks. I'm DJ Maurishi here, coming to you live from the Keon area here at the commission of the new water well. And we're about to get going here. The Prime Minister have just arrived. We have here in our midst Brother Ralston Isaac, the man of the hour, who spearheaded this project. And I look forward to the commission of the well. We have in the midst as well Honorable Congress Maynard, who is responsible for works and water. We have our Honorable esteemed Prime Minister here, the Honorable Dr. Terence Jew, along with his deputy. Right next to him, the Honorable Jeffrey Hanley. And just arrived is the Honorable Samuel Duggins, as we'll be getting ready shortly. My good people, yes, you heard it right. There is water in Keon. Water was struck some time ago, so all of the naysayers now will have to either apologize to the Honorable Attorney General, or they might be getting some kind of letter from him. We also have in the midst, along with the Honorable Attorney General Gart Wilkin, Sister Iceline Honorable Phillips, good morning, and our Cabinet Secretary, Mr. Natter. So as we get ready for the commission and handing over of this well, there are several citizens on hand to witness this historic occasion. So I'm going to take a little pan over here to the area of where the well is at, and I'll be back to you. So yes, it's a glorious day here in Keon. The people of Keon will be getting the well due relief of, there goes the service valve and water meter that is online. We have the team here who are getting ready and preparing the operations here for the opening ceremony and handing over. Here is the pump house where all of the equipment is. You guys might have remembered a few weeks ago, not too long ago, I came here and did a live broadcast when it was merely just the basement of this pump house that was here at the moment. Quick, hold it. Okay. So, the pump house here. Yeah, so we are going to take a look on the interior of the pump house, actually, that you folks can get a first-hand view of the interior of the pump house. Yes. This is the operation here. The transfer switch and switch gear for the pump room. Yes, is here. State-of-the-art panel board. The lines that are going down to the pump. You have the this is the transfer switch for the electrical power. And here we got the electrical panel. We have transfer set up here. Still in work in progress, but the water is found and we are ready to deliver water to the people of Keon and the surrounding areas here. So I look forward to the commission this morning of this water well. So as we pan back out here, we are in the Green Valley area here in Keon. Yes. We got my partner Molly Media over there. Molly Media! Everything good? So, as we get ready for this commission, we head back up to the area here. Yes. The General, good morning, sir. So as we get ready for the handing over ceremony, the opening here. We have a legend here in the water business, the man Dennis Paul, one of the water engineer on St. Kitts, most capable of getting the work done. Enough respect, it's been a long time coming. Teacher Bounce, how are you doing? Everything good? All right. Former MP in the area here, Brother Eugene Hamilton. Yes. As we run around. Yeah. Everybody doing their stuff. Yes, sir. We got the school kids here to witness this auspicious occasion. We got the Speaker of the House just arrived. We are live. It's live. It's live. Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand. The national anthem will now be played. Please stand. Please remain standing as I invite Permanent Secretary Lloyd to invoke God's presence.
Good morning, everyone. Let us pray. Father and God, we pause at this time to thank you for your goodness, for your faithfulness. Indeed, God, we thank you that you have given us life to enjoy and celebrate even yet another day. Today, O God, as a ministry and as a government, we are grateful for your abundant blessings, O God. For indeed, O God, a community and a nation that has been crying out for water, you have responded and responded favorably. We thank you, O God, for those men and women who have worked tirelessly, O God, to ensure that this project become a reality. We thank you, O God, for the vision of our minister and the government that saw the need, O God, to respond to the cry of this nation. Yes, we pray indeed, O God, that you will continue, O God, to bless us as a nation. Father, we thank you, O God, for those who will be entrusted with taking care of this precious resource. We pray, O God, that even the residents, O God, even though we will have water in abundance, we declare, O God, that we will understand the significant importance, O God, of using this resource wisely. And so, God, we entrust everything into your hands even now as we just celebrate your blessings upon us as a nation. We give you thanks in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Lord.
You may be seated. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew, Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Dr. Jeffrey Henley, Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable Samal Duggins, the Honourable Commerce Maynard, Minister of Public Infrastructure, the Senator, the Honourable Iselene Phillip, the Honourable Attorney General Garth Wilkin, Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Marcus Matta, Permanent Secretaries, Speaker of the House, the Honourable Reneen Blanchett, specially invited guests, including, of course, members of the representatives of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure at AL, including the Water Services Department, specifically the Water Manager, Mr. Cromwell Williams, also his team. Other permanent secretaries as well. I see a few faces here. Thank you for joining us this morning for this very, very momentous occasion. I dare say that water is life, and that is something that's symbolized on the logo of the Water Services Department. And today definitely is a very momentous occasion for the people of Keon, but also the people of the country, as you heard sentiments echoed, that they cannot wait for the tap to be turned on today. So without further ado, to give you a project overview, I invite the manager of the Water Services Department, Mr. Cromwell Williams, to bring brief remarks.
Good morning to everyone. Please allow me to establish. Welcome everyone to this auspicious occasion. We're here at the beautiful. We are here. Good morning. Yes. My hands this morning, so it's good morning again, everyone. Thank you. Please allow me to adopt the protocol that has been so ably established. There is quite a lot that I can say this morning, but I am mindful of the fact that we have very important persons here and they have a lot to say, so I won't say much. And also, I'm sure they have other places to go, but we will not diminish the importance of this occasion. It is a landmark moment for us here in the Federation, and particularly in the Keyon area. And I will say Keyon Keys, because when it comes to water, Keyon Keys is operated as one system.
Congratulations!
Okay, so how did we get here? I will go a bit back in history, because sometimes it's important to know the history. I'm going back to the 1970s. It was in the 1970s that the then persons who were involved in the government would have recognized that our traditional sources of water, such as Green Hill source, Wingfield source or river, Phillips's source, and a couple of others, will one day reach their limitations in terms of their ability to supply the demands and the needs of a growing population. And so, with the help of the Canadian government, mainly back in the 70s, we began to explore groundwater. That is, well, I call it liquid gold. Beneath our feet, hundreds of feet beneath our feet. And so, ever since then, in St. Kitts, we have been working to develop our groundwater to augment or to supplement our surface water. I will have to mention some numbers. You don't have to be mathematically inclined to understand. So, from about 7 of our surface sources or rivers, we get approximately 1.9, you could even round it off to 2 million gallons of water per day. That water is captured in the hills, in the mountains, by the water department. It is fed via the pipelines into storage tanks, and then from the storage tanks, it is fed out to the various communities. During the 1980s and up until now, we have continued to drill wells. However, Keyon in particular was an area where we attempted many times to drill in this area, mainly down at the Hermitage area, across Brighton, and maybe even higher up. But for some reason, the type of rocks in this area was challenging, and so we were not able to get a very large well. Some years ago, we got a well down at Otley's, very close to the Grange Nursing Home. That gives us 130 gallons per minute, and that would be just over almost 200,000 gallons per day. And that gave us some breathing room in Keyon, because that water from the Grange well is pumped via a pipeline all the way up to the tank at Green Hill that then feeds out to Keyon. However, population continued to increase, standard of living continued to increase in St. Kitts. And so we must always remember that. Whereas once ago, persons had outhouses, pit toilets, or small houses with one toilet. Now, when you look at the average house in St. Kitts, sometimes you have 3 bedrooms and 4 toilets. And so because of that, the demand has increased exponentially, drastically. So whereas our population might not be increasing significantly, the standard of living has increased significantly. And it's not just the household demand, it's not just the domestic, it's the non-domestic. The hotels, the restaurants, and such. Even agriculture. Prior to about 2000, there were very few farmers that actually had a connection from our water system. For about 2000, we started to accommodate more and more farmers. We're still not able to accommodate every farmer that shows up at the water department and says, you know, I have an acre of land or I have 5 acres of land, I need a connection. If we were to just automatically say, sure, then you will not have water to flush your toilets. Because one farmer with a 1/4 acre, which is about a middle-sized house lot, one farmer with a 1/4 acre can use 10, 15, up to 20 times what a household would use on that same plot of land. And so because of that, meeting the needs for agriculture is a particular challenge, but is one that we must rise to. So, fast forward to today. Drilling for this well began last year around July, and by now most of you know that the contractor that the government would have engaged goes by the name of BEAD, and we have a representative here today in the person of Mr. Rawlinson Isaac, and yes, and Mr. Isaac is from Keyon, and he has always put it on the table that he will spare no expense, he will stop at nothing to make sure that what we're experiencing here today is a reality. So I want to commend BEAD for delivering this well. It took longer than we hoped, but in the end, we are here. And as I said, it's a significant milestone on our path as a community and as a country as we return to 24-hour water supply. That is a commitment that the government has given, and the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, and particularly our Minister, the Honorable Congress Maynard, is very adamant about that, and we experience it every day. Every time there's a delay, I think he gets a couple more gray here. But we have reached this far. So, I want to mention a few characteristics of the well. I will start with quality, because I know it is a concern for some persons. The quality of this water is exceptionally good. It's not just okay, it is exceptionally good. We have over 28 wells operating in St. Kitts. No two wells is exactly the same. Water is what it is. It is a substance that you see if you catch a glass of water from the pipe. It's clear, but water contains minute amounts of different elements. Water itself is H2O. It is hydrogen and oxygen. Okay? And because it exists in nature as part of the environment, it also contains trace amounts of other naturally occurring elements. Okay? They're not harmful and poisonous. The World Health Organization exists for this reason. They have determined for health reasons and for sometimes for aesthetic reasons, but we will be mainly concerned for health reasons. What is the safe amount of particular elements that is safe to be in the water that we consume, that we drink? or we refer to it as potable water that you can use in your kitchen, etc. So, as I said, this water is exceptionally good. It has been tested and retested and found to meet World Health Organization standard. There are several parameters that are standard indicators for water quality, starting with microbiological testing. In other words, bacteria. Water has been tested for bacteria. The water is coming from 575 feet below ground. That is a good depth. It is so far the deepest well that we have now in our system. At that depth, it is very highly improbable for there to be bacteria in the water. And that has been verified by the tests that were done by our multipurpose lab or Bureau of Standards. Zero coliform. We also test the temperature of the water, and this water is 27 degrees Celsius, cool and refreshing. Seems like there's a fridge under there. The pH is 7.4, which is right in the middle of the range, the acceptable range. The other elements that were tested include, the TDS, which we call total dissolved solids. It was around 250 milligrams per liter. Again, well below the World Health Organization maximum limit of 500. Manganese, magnesium, arsenic, calcium, sodium, etc., all found to be within the acceptable limits as prescribed by the World Health Organization. I repeat and emphasize that when it comes to our water quality, we have nothing to hide, and we would not compromise. Water is a food that you must feel is safe to ingest. I gather there has been some chatter about the quality and safety of our water, whether it is this well or other sources. I recommend that you contact the experts at the Ministry of Health, particularly the Department of Environmental Health, who tests the water every month. They are required by law to inform the Water Services Department and you, the public, if ever they find any instance where the water supplied to the public does not meet WHO standards. Matter of fact, this week, our Inspector of Water Quality, along with staff from the Department of Environmental Health, are in Barbados today as we speak, attending a workshop, ensuring that they are kept updated on water quality monitoring and surveillance. The public can have full confidence in the safety and quality of our water supplies. And as I always say, I drink my water straight from the tap, without reservation. Before I finish, I must raise a serious concern. We must stop taking water for granted in St. Kitts. Let me repeat. We must stop taking water for granted in St. Kitts. There are hundreds of households out there who are using 10 times and 20 times the amount of water that they should be using. You have a meter, we read your meter, so we know. We have reached out to many of those consumers, and some of them are very slow in addressing this concern, in fixing their leaks. Imagine you are pouring water in a bucket, which is what the department is doing, but that bucket is filled with holes. It will never full. So it's not just about decrying the government and the Water Services Department. When you don't have water, you have a role to play. Your neighbor has a role to play. Many of them have leaking buckets, and we are damaging the long-term sustainability of the resource. Because the more water you waste, the more water you use, the more you force us to produce more, to run the pumps 24 hours, when in fact they should be rested sometimes. So please, I appeal to you, it is not a one-man show. It is not just the water department. What are we doing to drill more wells, to build more desalination plants? Yes, those are being done, as you can see here today, and as you would see in the very near future when we start our 2 million gallons per day desalination plant for Bastia, and currently under construction at Canada is a smaller desalination plant that is due to be finished and commissioned in another 2 months or so. But we certainly need you to meet us halfway in terms of paying more attention to how you utilize this precious resource. So in closing, I want to thank the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Finance for their continued support to the Water Services Department. Thank you! Because without money, nothing happens. Okay, we have to pay BEAD, and we have to pay all of our other service providers. I want to thank the Honorable Minister, Congress Maynard. Sometimes it is a relay, and the baton was passed to him, and he has certainly been running with that baton.
That's right.
I want to thank my entire staff, those men and women. Sometimes you use them for digging up the road, but sometimes, and matter of all times, it is necessary. What is important is the timely reinstatement of the road, but we have to face the reality. But they put out every day, they go over and above. Today as we speak, some of them will be on their way up to the Green Hill source, not because we have a well here, it doesn't mean that we stop counting on the water from the Green Hill source, no. So they are on their way up to these hills, up to the source, to make sure that the water is clear so that it can come down to us. And then some of them, you know, get up 3 o'clock in the morning, because in this present environment of scarcity, they have to close down at nights and open early in the morning. And so they are out of their beds 3 o'clock in the morning when we are still fast asleep.
Thank you.
So we want to thank workers of the Water Services Department for their continued tremendous sacrifice to ensure that we have water. Water is life, water is health. And so with those remarks, I thank you, and we look forward to the commissioning of this well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, for your remarks. I wish to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Marshall Hayes. At this time, I invite our very own Minister, the Honorable Congress Maynard, to bring his remarks.
What a job! What a job! What a phenomenal accomplishment! Mr. Prime Minister, if you would please allow me to just deviate from the normal form of protocol by first recognizing the people and residents of KR. Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister and Parliamentary Representative of Constituency Number 8, the Speaker of our National Assembly, the Honorable Lanny Blanchett, the Deputy Prime Minister of St. Kitts, Minister of Education et al., the Honorable Dr. St. Kitts and Nevis, sorry, what did I say? St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Minister of Agriculture et al., Honorable Samuel Duggins, Minister of Tourism, Lady in Red, Honorable Marsha Henderson, our esteemed Attorney General, Honorable Garth Wilkin, our Minister in the Ministry of Social Development, Senator Honorable Aislinn Phillip, our esteemed Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Marcus Natter, Ambassador Extraordinaire, Mr. Leon Natter Nelson, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Energy, Utilities, Mr. Darren Lloyd, Senior Assistant Secretary in the Ministry, Mrs. Shaniqua Carey Brown, PS for Sustainable Development, I see, Mrs. Shesdo Tyson.
Our very own!
PS in Sports and Creative Economy, Ms. Sider. Looking around to see, I see PS for the Prime Minister's Office, Ms. Naima Hazel. I see directors of ministries and other persons within our departments and ministries. I recognize members of the Water Board and one including a resident of Keyon, or a native of Keyon, I don't know if he still resides here, Mr. Blanchett. We have also in our midst the representative for Bede, Mr. Rollinson Isaac. And all other invited guests here, in particular, members of the Water Services Department. I see Assistant Secretary Tiffany Hodge. I see members from SCELEC, or is it spouses of the Water Services Manager. In particular, I'm not seeing the Water Services Manager. Where did he go? Oh, the Water Services Manager, Mr. Cromwell Williams. Students of the Keyon High School and Primary School, welcome. And everyone else who has journeyed here to be a part of this process, a pleasant good morning to you all. Water is life, and every drop counts. Water is life, and every drop counts. Colleagues, citizens, as we grapple with the realities of climate change, where our surface water sources are getting less and less due to a continuous reduction in rainfall, it is incumbent upon the government to adapt to these realities and bring the necessary relief to its people as we pursue our sustainable island state agenda. Just in the last decade alone, rainfall has decreased by almost 20%, while demand for water continues to increase. At one point last year, rainfall had reduced by 40% compared to the year before. In addition to climate change, unfortunately, the people of Keyon and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis had to endure a significant period of time where there was no major investments in our water resource management in order to address aging infrastructure and to develop new water sources, whether from well drilling or desalination. However, this administration has responded by making water a priority.
Kudos!
We have increased the water budget by over 400% since taking office. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis has been approved by the Green Climate Fund for the project preparation stage for a US $42 million grant for the transformation of our water sector, where final approval is expected to be toward the end of next year. And I want to thank the Ministry of Sustainable Development for their efforts in this regard. Today is a real example of a government at work. Many have offered only talk. This ministry, however, which I have the privilege to lead, and this government, led by our Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew, deliver trophies from victories on behalf of the people. This in fact reminds me of a Calypsonian who sang, "Talk, that is all some people have. Talk, 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 talk is rampant in my land." And it goes on to say, before you go on a talkathon on the radio, show me your trophy. And so today, I present to you a trophy of bringing consistent supply of water to the people of Kenya. On taking office just about 20 months ago, one of the very first meetings I had as Minister of Water was with BEAD to discuss the resumption of the well drilling program that had been developed prior to 2015, but was not pursued by the administration. BEAD informed us then that due to the abandonment of the project years earlier, the drilling rig had fallen into disrepair, and it was also vandalized. A drilling rig, which is across there, as you could see, is a specialized piece of equipment, and procurement of its replacement parts would take months to be ready, especially as supply chains were severely delayed coming out of COVID-19. By summer of 2023, as you heard, the rig had been sufficiently refurbished. Drilling commenced thereafter and was completed in August of 2023. Initial tests revealed that the water was potable. The well was subsequently built out, and in the last few weeks, BEAD conducted their final tests of the well. This week, we received the final laboratory tests results from BEAD and also from our Bureau of Standards, indicating, as the water manager said, that the water meets all World Health Organization standards for drinking water. The well is now ready for official handover to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. I would like to extend gratitude and commendation to BEAD on its use of modern geophysical exploration techniques to identify this site. As the manager mentioned, and I am advised that other companies over the years have drilled wells in the Keyon area, but were unable to locate a high-yielding well such as this one. I would also like to give tremendous amount of thanks, really, to the hard-working staff at the Water Services Department, led by Mr. Cromwell Williams, Water Engineer, Water Manager, who happens to be a native of nearby Otley's, and so has a vested interest in making sure that this works. While we are asleep at night, many of our Water Services Department staff are out and about at 3 a.m. to ensure that we have water when we wake. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I had the privilege of journeying to some of the sites where we get our runoff water from, including in the Green Hill area. I went with the Water Services Department staff. I walked along cliffs that if you fell or if you slip, you will fall to your death. And they traverse these precarious situations week in and week out. Give them a round of applause for the tremendous work that they do. I want to also thank, I see in the audience, a past water manager, Mr. Paul. I want to thank you for the work that you would have done leading to the development of the water sector here in St. Kitts. As we commission this Keon well, this is just the beginning of the water sector transformation in St. Kitts and Nevis. Up next is the redevelopment of a well at Shadwell to see if it can in fact produce potable water. We are moments away from the start of the construction of a 2 million gallon desalination plant in Bastia to address the dire need for water in the Bastia Valley. Our aquifers in the Bastia Valley are on the brink and cannot give us any more water. Construction of a UAE donated 70,000 gallon desalination plant is well underway at the Canada Industrial Site and is expected to be completed in just a few months. A helicopter geophysical survey to identify more potential wells like this across the country will take place in the coming weeks. After this is complete, we will proceed to drill wells for the best aquifer prospects across the country, and in particular in the western part of the country from Sandy Point back around here to Keon. We as an administration also reinstituted the water board for the first time in many years, and they meet regularly to advise the Water Services Department on the development and transformation of the water sector here in St. Kitts and Nevis. As I close, I want to urge that we do not take water for granted. We have had a history in St. Kitts in the past, and particularly in St. Kitts, not in Nevis, particularly in St. Kitts, to have the potential to waste our water, because we took for granted where our water comes from. Water is scarce. The UN has identified St. Kitts as one of the most water scarce countries in the Western Hemisphere. You can tell yourself, if you drive around St. Kitts today, will you see a river running? You will not see a river running. I have visited countries, in particular Dominica recently. We are on the way to the airport. I could not count the number of rivers that were running. Whether rain come or not, rivers running for hundreds of years. I was in another country, and we're driving along, and the river is big from here all the way over to the end of those vehicles. Water for days. We don't have that. And so we have to consider water as a precious commodity. And so I want to encourage everyone here and everyone within the range of my voice to conserve. While we can celebrate today that the people of Keon will be returned to 24-hour water service, I want the people of Keon to also lead the way to show that they will conserve the water, preserve the water, so that we can have it for years and years to come. Just so you know, the present tank at Keon is 200,000 gallons, which is fairly small based on the development of the area. And so at present, our Public Works Department, in collaboration with the Water Service Department, has already put out a tender to build a 1 million gallon tank for the people of Keon. And so very shortly we will get responses for those bids and proceed to build that tank this year. So as we continue to do our part, as we continue to develop our water resources, I ask you to partner with us. Do your part, conserve, tell the story as well, that this administration made a commitment to you, the people of Keon, and to the people of St. Kitts, that we will deliver water, and today we announce that we have delivered water. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Mr. Prime Minister and the Cabinet, for all of your support. as we move this sector forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister
Never
Miller.
fail us yet.
At this time, it is my pleasure to invite the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, and Parliamentary Representative for the City of Ministerial.
Good morning, Kayon. It's a better day today, is it? It's been a long time coming, but we are here today. Put your hands together for yourself. Allow me also to recognize you, the good people of Kayon. I see Julie here and all the others. I want to recognize, of course, all of my cabinet colleagues. If they would allow me to move a bit forward, because I think the minister would have recognized all of you, and he did so in good stead. But I especially want to say to the people of Kayon that you have been through a lot when it comes to the scarcity of water. I've often said that after air, so the three things that are critically important: first God, then air, and then water. And a government that cannot deliver water to its people, it's a government that does not worth its salt. Water is too basic a need not to make it the most important or the issue that tops the priority list of any administration. And so water delivery is a top priority for this Labour administration. You all can come in, not even if you have to be closed. Don't let the children get wet. All of you come in. Let's band together. Some of you can come here, don't worry. If you have to come up here to get shelter, it is fine. You can bring the children behind me. Don't let the children get wet. Come, children, come. Yes, let the children stand out of the way. You all can stand right up here. Alright? Yeah, right behind me. You all can come right up here, don't worry. Alright? Yes. You let all the children. We have more room here. Let the next set, you all come. Yes, don't get wet. And anybody else who is standing in the rain, and you can fit here, I say Miss Millard, come out of the rain to Miss Millard. It's fine. Good. Make sure everybody gets shelter. We have more space up here. Don't get wet. It's very interesting today, isn't it? That on a day when we are launching a well with hundreds of thousands of gallons of water, more water. God is really and surely blessing us, all of us, today.
Tremendously.
Right, so I think the people of Kayon would have suffered a great deal because of the lack of water.
For much too long.
This was one of the commitments that I made, that the minister made, that the Labour A team would have made, especially during our utterances in asking the people to give us an opportunity to serve them.
And they did.
And you gave us that opportunity. And you fulfilled your part of the commitment. Oh, I see. No, I see the foreman. He can come in and not get wet. Or he was sitting as well. All right. The former MP is here, Mr. Hamilton. So if he's getting wet, I will ask him to come in and stand out of the rain as well. Don't worry, today we are all one. You're okay? Okay, he indicated that he's okay. No, I wouldn't want you to be getting wet though, you know. So you can always come in and shelter, and I'm serious. I'm serious. Yes. No, let him come in and get shelter. Let him come in and shelter. No, he can't be up there and get it wet. No.
We were seated already, PM.
Huh?
We were seated already.
You were seated?
Yeah, but he went up.
Alright, good, good. Alright, all of us are one, people irrespective. So we have room up here for all of you, including the former MP for the area. And so you fulfill your commitment and gave us that opportunity to serve you. And so we decided, of course, from very early, that we will fulfill this commitment as well. I want to take the opportunity to really thank the Minister of Infrastructure, Water, the Honorable Thomas Maynard, who worked tirelessly hard from his ministry's perspective to make sure that today is a reality. And to thank the rest of the cabinet for their full support. Because during our discussions with respect to the debate, we decided that we would increase the water budget. And as he said, we increased it 400%.
Absolutely phenomenal.
That means we put the money where our mouth is. Correct? Yes. And that means that we are serious. Word of mouth alone does not show serious commitment. In St. Kitts and Nevis, we say put your money where your mouth is.
That's who we
And that is what we did during our budget debate. I want to extend the gratitude to the water department and the manager. I've called him, as the minister has said, I like to call very early in the morning. That is when I think people are up and fresh and we can have a good conversation. I've called him multiple times very early in the morning and he has responded. And I want to thank him for tolerating me at those early hours. But it was because this project is critically important.
Yes, it is.
I also want to thank Mr. Isaac from Keon.
Our very own.
He also suffered the brunt of my early morning callings. And then he started to call me early. Because we had to work in tandem and work together to make sure that today is a reality. We had to make sure that BEAD would get the necessary support that was required for it to carry out its work. I remember when he said the machinery is in Nevis and the machinery is somewhat damaged. But the fact that it had been left there without any work to do, because as you know, after 2015, BEAD was unceremoniously asked to stop its operation. However, being a Keon man, he recommitted to the task, and so through the difficulties of the supply chain and so forth, he persevered.
Yes, he did.
And they began to order the new parts and whatever the components
Thank
were
you.
for the equipment. They came and he brought over the rig from Nevis to the Keon site. As he started the rig, and he would tell you, because some of the components were sitting for so long, problems that were not perceived started to show up. And then he had to order other components and parts, which were delayed again because of the supply chain issues as a result of COVID. But we did not give up. We persevered, we pushed.
Persistent.
The minister pushed, the cabinet pushed, I pushed, the water engineer pushed, the PS pushed, the team pushed. Everybody was pushing because we were determined that we must deliver this resource for the people of Keon, the surrounding environs, and this will have a tremendous impact on other communities that are not so close to Keon.
How can we say
And
thanks?
therefore, I want us to put our hands together for all of us serving God.
Oh, yes, lovely! Kudos!
I also want to thank the people from Keon because they too applied their own pressure. Can you imagine mothers coming home and there was no water? On the weekends, they could not wash their clothes and their dishes and so forth. Could not take a proper bath. And so the frustration and pressure of not having access to potable water was felt, and they expressed it. We didn't become angry. We didn't become upset. We said, there is a cry. And we are not going to look for excuses. We are going to look for solutions.
Oh, yeah.
And we found solutions. And that is why we are here today.
Thank you.
I think that this really would impact positively this area. It would also positively impact the area of St. Peter's, which is another area that is also affected. Because I'm told by the engineers, the source in Green Hill serves both Keyon and St. Peter's. And Keyon now having this resource, some more water can be directed to the St. Peter's area. This too, I want to follow the minister and echo his sentiments that because of climate change, water is becoming a scarce commodity. Don't mind you see 1 or 2 days of heavy rainfall and guts are running on rivers and falls. That is not taking place frequently anymore. If you look at the total rainfall over a year, it has dropped significantly. And while rainfall has dropped, the demand for water has gone up. So we are being struck with 2 significant issues that would add to the scarcity of this precious resource that was called white gold by the water manager. So I call us to preserve our water. Be mindful of how we use it. Let us not waste it. Let us treasure it because it should be treasured. Let us think that every time we take a bath, that we really need to be in the bath for half an hour. When we wash our dishes, do we have to keep the water running to wash each cup, each glass, each plate? When we wash our clothes, do we have to wash 1 shirt at a time or 1 pant at a time? These are the questions we have to ask. When we go to the bathroom and we hear the bathroom running, do we call in a plumber to stop it? Or we allow it to run 24/7, day after day, 365 days? When we see the water to the back pipe dripping, do we do something to stop it? Or do we leave it? For each of us, we might see it as a drip. But when you add all these drips together, they add up to hundreds of thousands of gallons. This water could have been saved for you to have access when you want it most. And therefore, we have our own responsibility to conserve this precious resource as well. I see Foreman Kurt Catty is here. He too suffers the brunt of my early morning calls. And I want to thank him for answering each time and responding as well. So at every level, the water department is responding and our people are responding. The last aspect of my talk this morning is to look at Keyon as a community. Keyon, we want to upgrade to a town once again by any definition. Therefore, having access to water is one of those things that we must ensure that this town has. The other matter is the matter of the post office in Keyon. And they have said to us, we want a 3rd institution in order to declare Keyon a town. I want to say to the people of Keyon that Keyon was downgraded, but we are going to upgrade Keyon once again. And the overall mission is to make Keyon an official town by any definition.
Admirable.
And so I want to finally say that today is a proud moment.
Yes, it is.
Today is a moment of accomplishment. Today is a moment to show how committed we are. That in less than 2 years, this administration has delivered water to the people of Keyon and the surrounding environment. And that, of course, is tremendous. And let it always be said that we will work tirelessly hard for the people, not only of Keyon,
Oh, we
but the
thank
people
you.
of this federation.
Oh, we thank you.
Congratulations to all of you in Keyon, and also congratulations to the children who will be ensured that when they go to the pipes and bathrooms at their schools, that they will have water. Water is life, and every drop counts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Prime Minister.
Thank you.
At this point, I have the pleasure and privilege of inviting Mr. Rollinson Isaac, the representative of Bede, St. Kitts Limited, to bring brief remarks.
Our very own! Lovely! And so humble. Teach.
Yes, good day, good day. Bede in charge. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome. All members of Cabinet. For me, it's really a pleasure. Permit me to adopt the protocol already established. But except to say for Kayan people, I back. I would have preferred this ceremony to take place later today, Mr. Prime Minister. I know you're busy. Because it was my intention to invite the 4,000 of your voters from Kayan to be here enjoying a tremendous feast today. But I will have to organize it separately. I want to thank you for inviting me to give a few remarks. I think I've heard that water, according to the UN, is scarce commodity, particularly in St. Kitts. St. Kitts says #1, rating high, no water. I am also happy that you mentioned that the budget has been increased.
400%.
And 500%, that's what I heard.
Right.
And we want to make sure that a fair allocation of that is received by Bede. We have heard the minister, I think it was Cromwell, who mentioned that over 50 years nobody could find water in Kayan. Can you imagine that? Who found it? Labour/Bede. Nobody could find water at 575 feet. But Bede. Cool and refreshing. Is that a word, Mr.
That's right.
Cromwell? Yes. My job today is really an easy one. To celebrate with the people of Kayan and this water mission that we've been on for a long time. Also to commend the Labour administration for being the party to receive the trophy for this water project. We have done all we could have done under the circumstances, but what have not been said yet is the fact that we are delivering close to 500 imperial gallons a day.
Can you repeat it?
500,000 imperial gallons a day. But what I want to say to you, we heard that there's one in Lodge which has about 200. Just do your own adjustment. What I have to say is that this special well here, we went far down, but we discovered something like 800,000 gallons a day. In order to make it sustainable, we have decided, of course, with the minister, that we will only take out sufficient to satisfy our needs and to avoid any salt intrusion of any sort because we have to go so far down. Bede has a microscope to carry eyes. We can stay in the helicopter that he has introduced and spot the water right on the ground. What I want to say to him is that the helicopter will help him to determine areas. Because about 10, 12 years ago, we were engaged in a similar development. And we discovered that all he can do, tell you, well, here's a river, here's a mud, and so therefore go and look there. BEAD has developed the mechanism to tell you exactly where it is. You mean to tell me 50 years nobody could do it? See where BEAD come and get it done. So it's not only to celebrate for me with the Labour Party today, and to celebrate, of course, with the people of Keyon, but I want also to clear BEAD's name. We heard some people talk about BEAD and all kind of things. But I am not worried. I trained as a banker, a businessman, and people ask me, how did you get involved in this water business? Joseph Parry, my friend, in Nevis, won his seat in 2006. BEAD, I have to have known, and I introduced them to him. That's what happened. So in 2008 to 2009, they were able to provide water in Nevis. People were going around with pan on the head from Gingerland to town up to that point. Whether we want to acknowledge it or what. But that's the fact. And BEAD put about 1 million gallons, in the system. The only difference between Nevis and St. Kitts is that nobody thought that BEAD could find water there. So the contract that we entered into had to do with maintaining the supply of water for a period of 10 years. In other words, if you're suspicious that they might find water and it can't last long, let's tie them into a contract over a 10-year period. But we know better than that, we're smarter than that. We grab the 10-year. The only difference between that contract and the one we entered to in St. Kitts is that there is no holding on to the water for 10 years so that the Royal Isaac of Keyon could make something. That is not happening, but we hope, Mr. Prime Minister, and Mr. Manager, Mr. Minister of Water, that we can have some negotiations done, and so that we all can be happy. I love to monetize, they'll tell you that. I'm a banker. I look for opportunities, but I also look for monetization of those opportunities. Otherwise, we in Kenya can't have good times. So we left Nevis having done that, and my best friend in the Labour Party, my best friend, Joe is my next best friend, but before him was Dr. Douglas. We went to school. When I traveling going this way, and son won a truck, he coming that way, and this fella Phipps truck from St. Paul's coming that way. But we used to meet up right there. The one driving Cadillac and so on those days. We know who were driving them, but we were there. In 2014, I asked Dougie, please, we finished with Nevis. I want to come to Keyon because we've been suffering for a long time. Dougie gave me a contract of 2 million gallons at $2 at the Imperial gallon, and the contract was 4 million. That was in 2014, signed off in 2015. We know that in 2015, the government lost, new government took over, and our project was severely challenged. I'm not going to give you the details because I get vexed when I do it. So I am going to say we passed that. The government, however, after we've been fighting, gave us a mobilization of 750,000 around July. Equipment standing on the side, they're rotting down, nobody cares. And then, I'm talking about July 15. Everybody talk about country, about selves. but we were wondering where country came in. In 2015, after nothing happening, and my beat colleagues been working hard, they decided to sue the government for $3 million.
Obstructionists.
I said to them, suing government gonna take long. 5 years might lead to they're still fighting. Don't do it. Don't bother through it. Let's move on.
Get rid of them.
And what happened is that they settled. After we done spend over $2 million out of our pocket, they settled at $1 million. So people boasting how much money they pay Bead, as if Bead is some kind of little pawn shop somewhere, that they pay them money and get nothing. We had put in over $3 million of work.
Political misfits.
So what happened is that they settled at $1 million. So let me tell you guys, don't worry. Let's move on. So in 2018, I went back to Nevis with Bead to see if we can use the time while we were here. So we started, we went to the government, of course, and they gave us a drawdown of $750 US. In this business, the government is responsible for water. Some people make it sound like it is Bead that is responsible. Bead is only the water solution provider. The government must take the full responsibility to develop the water problem in the country. And that is what we expected. So when we got to Nevis, they gave us $750. Nobody stopped to ask what was done with that. We drilled 2 holes, did all the geophysics and all the geological work. Spend that money. Nobody asked us where it was going. And when we spent up to $920,000 US, we decided we ain't going no further with stuff. We told the government that we are having some problems because the white guys who supported Bead decided that they're not putting any more money into St. Kitts, not them.
What a journey.
And so therefore we took it seriously. I was on a call then with Lagarde, you know, the lady for the IMF. I was on a call. Tell her what's happening down here. We call the president of the World Bank. We are having problems. And these guys can call them, you know, because all they went to school like me. I only tag it in. CDB, we spent a lot of time trying to see if we could get some understanding. In the country we
Use the
love.
mic, use the mic.
In the country we love, and nobody is studying with us. So we said, let's not worry about that. Let's move on.
Teach.
So in 2020, what we saw was a particular minister get thrown out somewhere. Thanks to my cousin Jeffrey. Sean, who took over the ministry, Sean Richards, advanced again another $600,000 for us to continue the development. That was in COVID. We sent down 2 best geologists, hydrogeologists from California down here, spent 14 days. We were told that they would be in the bubble. So the guys them came, and that time we had done the Shadwell well, which is Shadwell 2. Bear in mind when we did the Shadwell 1, which had in about 500,000 imperial gallons a day. The minister came and lock it up, lock it down, and hook it up. Disrespectful. Lock it down, hook it up, and not one word said. We went on and we looked at Shadwell 2. When we got into Shadwell 2, perfect well, 600,000 imperial gallons, Mr. Minister. Bastian had to be worried about no, what you call them, desalination. That's 2 million you got right there in your hand. But nobody studied with us. The guys them came in, lock up for 14 days, and then decide They in that, they gone back home. So nothing happened after that. Then in 2022, the great change took place.
Oh, yes.
But just before that again, maybe about 6 months before that, while preparation was being made for in June, for an election.
Not the story.
Then the government gave us again a little $600,000. I run big banks for years. So when it comes to money, 600,000 US is what we give away normally. So we got that money, and that's when we discovered that the drill plant that we had in Nevis, somebody went in and took out the belly of it. Mash it up, but we decided to use some of that money, Mr. Minister, to create a new engine out of it. And so you see it there, but it has been a brand new engine. But we had to do that. It cost us about 250,000 US. But we said we ain't gonna stop. And you know why I ain't gonna stop? Because it's a KR project. Dougie came to me, gave me that privilege, and I said to Dougie, I have for you, you're talking about trophy, I have a trophy. So I have with me today 2 trophies.
Kudos!
One for Dougie and one for the big man who is taking over the water business today. Why am I talking about what happened in terms of what we have spent? In Nevis, you hear all kind of things that they give big $2 million. I think that's money. That's no money. But to make it sound as the bid took $2 million and did nothing. Bid had spent 920,000 US, but nobody cares. Damaging people's reputation is what some of us enjoy doing. I didn't take it easy. No money was there. I'm not the brokest man in the world. So I said to Bede, what are we going to do? The white guy is not putting in any more money. I want a well in chaos. So we must do something. I went to the Prime Minister. He said, we talk every morning. He's right.
Use the mic.
And we've been talking, and I asked him, give me some cash. He said to me that there's a contract that was provided to him, and there's certain terms and conditions. Because I'm a banker, so I respect that. But I'm not going to let that keep me back. I went to him and asked him, call the manager of the National Bank and see if he could help me raise about $2 million. He, look in there, I'm proud of him. He did that. I went to the bank and put up my full security because he said, Cabinet may not approve it because it's outside of the contract. I'm a businessman, I understand that. All I ask him, I'm putting in my dollars, back me up.
What a journey.
And so, Mr. Prime Minister, I am saying here today, among all my KR people, back me up. Give me $2 million. What I learned as a businessman, there are a couple of ways to do business. You can put in hard cash, which is one of the ways, provided with liquid funds, or you can credit. You ain't got it, credit. So we credited about 390,000 US dollars, a service from 2 of the most prominent people in the water business. One goes by the name of, I think there is Best, BESST, meaning the best in the environmental subsurface technology. And the drillers, see what him out there, zigging for us to drill, whether we like it or not. Drilling one of these, borrowing one of these, or paying for one of these drills is like 1,150 US dollars an hour. Not easy, but I was not prepared to let $2 keep me out of chaos.
That was going.
So we put it together. We put the monies together. The well cost us about $1,065,000 US. If I have to go broke, let me go broke. Because I did it for my heart and for my people, the people. And so, Mr. Minister, I just want to, with a few brief remarks there, to thank you for your work you're doing, Mr. Minister Congress.
Thank you.
You know, continue doing the best you can.
Thank you.
And I am here to tell you, today is really the handing over. And so it gives me great pleasure on behalf of Bill. But before I do that, there are two persons I want to recognize of my B team. There's a Shanwick, I don't know if he's around. Shanwick, he manages the project when I'm not here. People think I don't know anything about water, but I write in a whole book on water. And his colleague, Davian. When I'm not here, those are the guys who come and take care. But we do all the work every night. The other person I want to recognize is my communications director. And my communications director is the mayor of Keyon, Lennox Lywood. When everybody abusing me and abusing Bill, I put him on the warpad. Let him take it from there. He is my communications director. Don't trouble me, because I can promise you, he's going to take care of it. So, with those few words, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Minister of Water, it really gives me a tremendous pleasure. It was a long, arduous, hard, painful journey.
Relentless struggle.
But the people in Keyon who don't back down.
Oh, yes.
It's one of them. And so therefore, again as I said, it gives me great pleasure in handing over the Keyon well to the government, to the water department of this beautiful country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your remarks, which
We have a line. We have a line. We have a line.
At this point, I invite Mr. Luther George Tyson, a native of Keyon, first of all, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sustainable Development, to bring the vote of thanks, after which there will be a ribbon cutting just a few feet away.
And isn't she lovely?
Good job.
Yeah.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. Allow me to adopt the protocol that was established. Yes, I am the PS of Sustainable Development, but I brought along a very good friend of mine to help me extend courtesies for the ceremony. Her name is Bertha. You will hear her later. But for now, as the PS, I must say, thank you, Jehovah God, for this resource that was found in Keyon.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank God for it. Do you know that it is predicted that if there is another world war, it is going to be over fresh water?
Yes.
Yes, it's in the annals of the United Nations. I thank God. I thank the government of St. Kitts Nevis for having the vision. You heard the cries of the people, and you answered. Minister Mena and your team, you have done an excellent job. You stayed the course. And I can tell you many times, I live in St. Peter's now, I'm from Keyon, you're here. And many times I'm like, oh my goodness, when you will finish this well. It's been a long journey for us in Keyon, but thank you, you delivered.
Thank you.
Big, you are the experts. The others couldn't do it, but you did. Thank you very much. You found the water. To the organizers of today, the media, the people, everybody who did a part, thank you. Gratitude to you for your hard work. Bertha, are you there? Yes. Okay, here she comes. Well, allow me, Bertha, to thank the government. And me thank the Prime Minister, who is the bestest Prime Minister and the bestest parliamentary representative for number 3. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Thank you, Dr. Joe. 20 years, 20 months in government. And we have a problem solving chaos. Now, as I tell you, I come from Keon, from Texas to Boots, close to the market lot. And ever since I remember, we said we have a water problem in Keon. It didn't just start. You hear people saying all kind of things. It didn't just start. So, Doctor, do fix it. And I remember when I was a young girl and I asked her, well, when the water, why do you have to head water? They used to say the water going to the factory. Those of you who are over 50, you remember. Especially during that time. We never used to have the water in Keon. We used to have to head water from Shantytown to Texas. It wasn't easy. So, thank you, Dr. Drew, you fix it.
Thank you.
No more bucket on me head.
You are our hero.
No more heading of water. No more water truck. No more days without water in our homes. Thank you, Dr. Drew. So me say, turn on the water.
Turn it on.
Turn on the pipe.
Turn it on.
Let it flow.
Let it flow.
Turn on the pipes in Texas. Turn on the pipe in Shantytown.
Yes.
Turn on the pipe in Conigum. Turn on the pipe in Schooners.
Turn it on.
Turn on the pipe in Project. Turn on the pipe in Cabbage Street. Turn on the pipe in Central. Turn on the pipe in Duns Cottage. Turn on the pipe in Lovers Lane.
yes.
Turn on the pipe in Central. Turn on the pipe in Atlas. Turn on the pipe in Keys. Finally. Turn on the pipe. Bring out. Upper Keyan. Turn on the pipe in Waterworks. Turn on the pipe in Upper Keyan. Finally, we got water. Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for coming and I invite you to allow the Prime Minister and the members of Cabinet, as well as Mr. Olson, Isaac, to head over to that structure. With the children. Oh, special request. With the children as well. Thank you so very much.
Turn on the pipe. Turn on the pipe. Turn on the pipe. Turn on the pipes. Turn on the pipe. My way. Yeah, the king! Turn on the pipe! Yes, ma'am. We should have black already.
This is a blood.
Let's get it up. Pressure! That's good! What a boy! All the stuff of life!
Stuff of life.
Stuff of life!
Turn on.
What a historic moment! What a historic Yes, man. How could I excuse me? What? Wait. Put this up here.
Yeah. Yes, I need glass.
Oh, yeah, drink that.
I cannot get a drink of water from my belly.
Yeah, what you're seeing right about now is the commission of the well. We are now going to take a taste of water. Prime Minister Joe, the Honorable Congressman Brother Cromwell, Deputy Prime Minister Brother Hanley have taken a sip. Yes.
Tell Carl, pass me a glass, please. Billy, give me a top up.
Come on, here, God, we're come for water. Hey, mommy.
Yes, the water tasting is happening. Minister Maynard. Okay, just give me one. Just give me one. Just give me one.
Bring one over here.
One papa.
Truly historic. Truly historic.
See one more here.
Have to. If Marisha don't drink it, it's not good, you know.
No, he wants.
If Marisha don't get the water is not passed. I'll get in my own glass there. Thank you. So this is Marisha's glass here.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Let's go now, let's go.
Yeah, so what is happening at the moment is the tasting of the water.
Okay, let's go now. All right. All right, what a feast. Here's your glasses. The water in Keyon. Yeah. Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Woo!
Nice, nice, nice. The water tastes lovely. Pure. Pure water. What a lovely taste. Thank you. Thank you, Brother B. Thank you, Ralston Isaac. Thank you, Prime Minister Joe, Honorable Congress Maynard, and Labour Administration.
Wonderful.
Yes, folks, and it's official. It's official here. The well in Keon is officially commissioned and in service for the people of Keon. So, my good people,
Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister, he's going to take a picture here with the other members of Parliament. We have the Honorable Marsha Henderson here, all read out. The man Nathan Nelson.
Stop.
Wait, let him execute it. Ready, ministers?
So that's the photo op moment with the good people.
Oh, you guys had their darling.
Honorable Prime Minister, any message to the people? Any message to your people out on the diaspora? Nice. But Honorable Congressman on?
Yes.
Any message for the folks in diaspora?
I know that there's been a frustrating time, especially the people of K.R. But we are very glad today that we have been able to commission the K.R. well and deliver a well that can produce well over 400,000 gallons of water per day. I want to thank the Prime Minister, constituency rep, constituency number 8, for giving all his support to my ministry and the department to be able to deliver this well for the people of K.R. and its environment. We will continue now though, so for the people of St. Paul's, Bastia, etc., your water is coming soon as well.
Thank you, sir. Nice. All right. Yeah, so there's a message here from the Honorable Prime Minister, as well as the Minister of Water. Well, I'm catching up here in the two veteran here, the two men of the hour in K.R., Brother Ralston Isaac and the man Brother Lennox Live here. Brother Isaac, what you have to say to the people? You are live on Facebook, you are live around the world.
Tell them simply, wherever there are challenges, turn them into opportunities. Don't waste your time arguing and responding to all the negatives in life. Stay clear path, keep your mission and your vision quite clear, open, and make sure you just follow through on it. That's what life is all about.
Thank you,
For
sir.
me, that is the road to success, nothing else.
Thanks for the advice. Yeah, Lennox.
Well, we are just problem solvers, you know. And when it comes to K.R., most of the elders have already left. But I'll tell you something, me and my brother, we are here still. And when it comes to K.R., anything for K.R., whether it is finance or whatever, we will stick with this little village because that is all we want to do. K.R. is nobody on this end. K.R. is on.
Nice, nice, nice. Thank you, gentlemen. I look forward to that call before you disappear, me now, Brother Isaac.
No, man, you have it. I would have preferred the event to take place this afternoon. Then I could bring my 5,000 supporters out to K.R. here, right. But I guess the government ministers must leave early and they wanted to do it early. So I am here nonetheless, but I promise them we'll have the party.
Nice. Good job you guys did, man. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Honorable Speaker, good morning. Is it still morning? You look lovely. How are you doing? Okay, well, you're live on Facebook, you know, so speak to the people around the world. What do you have to say about this project?
Day and night to ensure that this community has water before
Nice, 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 nice. All right, so we're about getting ready to call it quits on this end, but yeah, the K.R. massive here. The people of K.R. are very happy with their Prime Minister and the work. Long time coming. Performance matters. Yes. Nice, nice. Hi, Bertha, how are you doing? You're live on Facebook. You want to say hello to the people?
This is a very special moment for K.R. today because we've had more than 100-year problem with water in K.R. And finally it is fixed. And so I'm very grateful to Dr. Drew and his leadership and his team for an excellent work in fixing the problem in K.R. One love!
Nice, Sister Dua, thanks. Yeah, man. Yeah, so as the ceremony is coming to a close and we're about to head out of here, I'll bring you back around to the podium here. Yes, So for the benefit of the people, I'm DJ Mawisha coming to you live here from the Cabbage Street area in Keon, St. Kitts, as we just witnessed the commission of the well that was dug by the Beads Company, and now turn over to the government and the people of Keon. Thanks for joining. I'm DJ Mawisha saying, have a great day. Look forward to seeing you next Wednesday on my regular Facebook Live from 6 to 8 p.m.